Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got a really interesting combination to try out. It's a new shell to the market that's been a pretty deadly performer so far, but with a much more old school basic setup combo, and I actually think we're going to see some pretty impressive results from the two of them when we put them together. But as for the shells we've got today, I brought out some of these, the new Winchester Longbeard TSS loads. These ones are the 12 gauge, 3-inch, 2 3/8 ounce payload of TSS 8 shot, moving about 1100 feet per second. We have tried these through a number of different setups and choke combos, and they've always been some very impressive performers. When they first came out, they were like 70 to 80 bucks a box for 5 of them, but I have seen the prices start coming down on them. Typically they're about 60 or so now. I think I might have seen a $55 a box price once, so they're not the cheapest shell on the shelf, but the price does make a whole lot more sense now than when it first came out. Either way, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what these Longbeard 8 shot loads can do through today's setup. And as for that setup, I brought out this guy. This is an old, probably about mid to late 70s Mossberg 500A. It has a 30-inch barrel on it with a fixed full choke. It measures out right at a 695 constriction, so not overly tight, very typical full choke range, but it does start to constrict about 4 inches away from the muzzle, so it is a nice smooth transition. And for this being an old school setup combo, we've actually seen some pretty decent turkey patterns from other Winchester shells through it. The regular lead Longbeard loads are more than capable enough at 40 yards through this to get you a turkey any day of the week. So what can the Longbeard TSS shells actually do? I'm thinking we should see something good, but that's also why I picked the 8 shot instead of the 9s, is this fixed full barrel. The little bit larger pellet size might work out pretty nice with them, so we'll see what happens. So as for today's test, everything is set up the same as usual. Even though it's an old school setup, I'm not going to handicap it at all. I want to see what it can do at 40 yards, so that's where we've got the turkey target set up. And of course we have the chronograph as well, so we can get our velocity from the shells. So let's get you guys a view of that target and see if we get another nasty pattern from these Longbeard TSS shells through a fixed full choke barrel this time. Alright, so that shell gave us 1121 through the chrono. The boss claim is 1100. So from that 30-inch barrel, we're seeing exactly what we're supposed to be. So I'd call it about perfect for a velocity. But how did those Longbeard TSS 8s actually do at 40 yards through a fixed full choke barrel? Let's go check it out and see what we got. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and I gotta say, it is super unfortunate that we were off to the left on that one. And it quite honestly surprises me, considering that shotgun pretty much always hits right dead on the money where I put the bead. But that's why we use the backers, so we can still see our pattern, and oh boy, do we have a very nice hunting pattern right there from that setup. I mean, that is a ton of shot over here to the left of that bird. And it does give you some leeway as well, because you still would have had a dead turkey there, even though we pretty much missed him all entirely. He caught one through the brain and a couple more down the spine, so yeah, that would have absolutely done the job. So that right there is a beautiful hunting pattern. It's not the tightest pattern we've seen from these shells, obviously. That's a fixed full choke barrel. It's a 695 constriction. I didn't expect a super tight pattern, but we easily have a 15-16 inch circle right here that's pretty nice and even. There's a ton of pellets in there. If we look close, there might be a couple small little voids throughout there, but nothing detrimental to the pattern at all. If that was centered up, he would absolutely be covered in pellets, no doubt about it. Around the edges, we do have a few flyers and stuff to deal with, which isn't too surprising. There's some up there and some down the right edge and the bottom down there. But for those few flyers, I'll take that core all day long right there. Now, I will back up here, and in editing, I will pop up a 10-inch circle equivalent over top of the center core of the pattern, so you guys can actually see what it looks like, because it's rather impressive. I would not hesitate to take that combo out on a turkey hunt any day of the week. Like I just mentioned, it might not be the tightest pattern or the hottest core, but I really like how even that pattern is. I like the leeway it gives you with that little bit more open of a fixed full choke, this little bit more broad pattern. It's going to give you a little bit more wiggle room in at closer ranges while still being clearly capable out at 40 yards. And I'm saying you could push that pattern to 45 and 50 yards all day long and still be perfectly fine. So yeah, that is super impressive for what the setup actually is. Now, Now, as far as running TSS through an older shotgun like that with a fixed choke barrel, would I go skeet shooting with TSS from one? No, but a handful of turkey loads every so often, you know, a couple each spring, you're gonna be just fine as long as the rest of your shotgun can hold up to it. Because those older shotguns, there are no creature comforts, so every bit of recoil is gonna be transferred through the shotgun and into you. I really wish it was centered up to the right, and I'm sure somebody has already asked the question by now, why didn't I take another shot? Well, it's because these are not cheap shells and I have a very limited amount of them, and I've got other setups I want to try with them. So we may circle back to this at some point, maybe do a comparison or something between this and another combo or whatever. But for today, we'll use the backers and a little bit of editing to show you guys just how good it is, because that's very impressive. I think it pretty much speaks for itself. That is a nasty turkey pattern, considering what combo it came out of. Definitely not a whole lot to complain about on that one. And here's the wad from that shell. Very typical Winchester type of stuff here. I actually believe this is the same wad that they use in their Herders TSS shells, and we know it's a good performer. It's always done well with their TSS loads. There's no damage. There's nothing stuck down in there. Everything looks as perfect as what I would expect it to, so nothing fancy to see here. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that performance right there? I think at this point, we've pretty much already said it. That is a more than capable 40-yard turkey pattern all day long. I mean, that right there is as good as some of the modern setups we've tried with similar ammunition to that. It might not be the tightest pattern we've seen from these particular shells, but that's going to absolutely crush a turkey at 40, 45 yards all day long, no doubt about it, and I wouldn't hesitate to hunt with it. And coming into it, I thought the 8-shot might be a little bit more of an ideal combo with that little bit more open of a choke, and I think we might be right here. We have tested some TSS 9s through that same exact combo a while back with also a really nice pattern, but the little bit larger pellet size might have helped us kind of even our spread up and kind of condense things down a little bit. So definitely nothing short of impressive considering what it is. It's a 40-year-old shotgun that can still absolutely hang with anything out there in the turkey woods. So leave all your thoughts down in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these new Winchester Longbeard TSS shells? Or do you have an old shotgun with a fixed choke like that you've tried TSS through it? And if so, what kind of results have you seen from it? Would you hunt with that pattern or that combination of shell and shotgun? And what other shells might you want to see through that old fixed full choke Mossberg? Let me know all that down below. At the end of the day, coming into it, I knew it was going to be a plenty usable enough turkey pattern at 40, but I gotta say, that's pretty impressive all things considered. Definitely not a whole lot to argue with as far as that performance goes. So with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description down below if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all on the next one.